What a great room filled with Democrats. This is wonderful. So as you know, my name is Jack Nelson-Pallmeyer. I introduce myself as a Minnesotan, a husband, a father, a teacher, an activist, and I actually want to tell you a story about why I'm also a candidate for the United States Senate. In 1972, in Bombay, India, I got on a bus with other St. Olaf students. And we saw thousands and thousands of people getting ready for bed, only they didn't have homes, and they didn't have beds. All they had was a piece of cardboard or a mat that they put on the ground between the roadways. I'm riding this bus and it stops and I look out the window and I see a woman who is dead and a little girl screaming at the top of her lungs. The bus jolts forward, we go forward a little further, we get into downtown Bombay, and right in the midst of squalor, there's a luxury hotel. And we're ushered into the hotel by armed guards. And waiting for us inside was a feast, complete with fine china and an orchestra. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to stay there. I pushed my way past the guards, out onto the street, and I spent most of the night walking. And I realized that night that a luxury hotel with armed guards in the midst of poverty was a perfect but disturbing metaphor for our world. And I made a commitment that night that I was going to spend my life changing that world. That commitment led me to teach school in inner city Chicago. It led me to go to seminary. It led me to work with Lutheran churches throughout this state on hunger and poverty issues. It led me to live in Central America, where my wife Sarah and I worked for Oxford College. It led me to teach justice and peace studies at the University of St. Thomas. And it led me to write a dozen books over the years that have been used by social change movements throughout this country and throughout the world. Along the way, thank you. Along the way, I learned three vital lessons that are at the heart of my campaign. The first I learned from my father. Hope begins with honesty. The second lesson I often share with my daughters. There's always a pathway forward, no matter how difficult the problem. And the third lesson I learned from Paul Wellstone, and actually probably from some of you. Change depends on us. We never change the world by saying what can't be done. We change the world by saying what needs to be done and then working courageously together. Everyone in this room knows that our country is unraveling. Everyone here knows how critical the next few years are. And everyone here knows that Norm Coleman has been a cheerleader for the worst administration in U.S. history and that we need to send him packing. Everyone I hope also knows this election is about us. Beating up on Norm Coleman may make us feel better, but it's not going to win this seat back. And it's not going to change the direction of the country. As I travel around the state, I know that Minnesotans will elect a candidate who offers a compelling vision and authentic reasons for hope. I'm running for U.S. Senate because I believe at the very core of my being that this difficult time can be a hopeful time if we face our problems with honesty and courage. So I ask you and I say I think Minnesotans are ready for a politics of hope. I think we're ready to be courageous. I think we're ready to say yes to a call to action because we know the future of our children and their children and their children depend on what we do. Come with me to Rochester, build the citizen movement that we need. We will defeat Norm Coleman and we will move this country forward. Thank you.